Hi everyone, and welcome to Tuesday's Tips with Laurie. It is so wonderful to have you with me today. I wanted to show you a really fun way, actually it's hopefully a creative and organizational way to organize your quilts, and this will apply to any type of our quilts. For your Wish You a Merry Christmas, which is the one I'm going to demonstrate, but you could use it for just about any type. You could use it for the Jingle All the Way, you could use it for our Hello Sunshine quilt if you're making that, and if you're getting a real jump start on the Halloween, you could use it for the Broomhilda's Bakery quilt as well. So this is just going to be a organizational, showing you how I go about putting this together so that I don't mix up fabrics. How many times have you ever been ready to go have fun quilting with your friends, right? Go to a quilt guild, a quilt retreat, a sew night, one of these items, and you think, oh, I wish I had this already planned so I could just grab my bags that I'm ready to sew, and you can just take them with you. You can do a row by row or something like that. I'll show you how to organize it so that you are ready to go at a moment's notice with anybody, anywhere, anytime. All right, first of all, I wanted to show you this will work for the sewing, any of your sewing versions as well as the embroidery versions. The cuts are the same, and you can follow along in your books as to what cuts you will need. And I also want to point out it's pretty fun and important to pick up this embellishment kit as well, because the embellishment kit will have part of the products that you're going to need to put in these bags and organize it so that you have everything you need when it comes time to sewing that quilt together. All right, to start out with, I'm going to just show you the way I basically get started. I like the big picture on the back of the quilt, and what I do is this one I've laid out a row by row by row. And in the book, what I love about this one is it shows you this is row 1A, this is row 1B, this is row 2, row 3, and so forth. And so I've labeled my table here, if you'll see this. This is my row 1A, my row 1B, and my row 2. So the reason I do this is it helps me stay organized when I'm cutting these different fabrics and putting them in the bags. Now, this is the cool part. If you can find a place where, a card table, any place where you've got space where you can lay this out, no matter how many times you have to stop or do something else in between cutting, you don't have to sit down and have it all cut all in one in order to keep track of where you are. You just get started, and I'll show you how and why you can do it that way and still stay organized. The next thing I really highly recommend is some kind of bag, a Ziploc bag that you can put the different block pieces in. And what I do is I like to use just this, you could use any kind of blue tape, frog tape, it works great. You could use Kimberbell tape if you'd like. This is what I like to do. I like to label it, and I think I'm to the rolling pin, and I just look right at the quilt, and I look at the very first square in the top corner, and I'm like, that's a sugar jar. So I've got my sugar jar right here. So I'm gonna lay my sugar jar. Next I have a flour jar. So then I take these Ziploc baggies that I've labeled, and then next to sugar and spice. And they don't have to each have their own space because you'll run out of space, but this way I can locate quickly where my bag is that I'm cutting and wanting to put that fabric into. Next I have peppermints 1, 2, and 3, so I'm gonna just kind of stagger those going down. The next thing looks like my marshmallow cup, so I'm gonna put that one there. And the next is my whipped cream cup, and above that is my rolling pin, which I just made. So I'm gonna put that right here underneath. And now it's easy for me to spot, and I know that these are all row 1. When I'm cutting my fabrics, I can find the bag very quickly and easily to put my items in. And that's one of the reasons I mentioned the embellishment kit to start with, is because there's parts of the embellishment kit, for example, the red would go with the peppermint. So I can easily include that in so I have everything I need, like I said, to be organized. And another cool thing about these, they're reusable. You can use this for every quilt over and over again. You can just peel that right off, and you can start with another new quilt. So that's a really good way to get started. Once I have this laid out, and I have my next row, and my next row, ready of the bags. Then I take my book, and here's what I would recommend is start with the very top one, cut it, and then you're gonna move to the next fabric, and then the next fabric. And I would go in order, that way you know right where you are. If you stop, you can just put a marker and say that's how far I got, or that's how far I got today, or that's how far I got. And then you can always come back and you know right where you left off, and there's no confusion. And there's been a few times where I'm like, oh, that'll be easy. It's easy to tell after I've cut them which one belongs to what. It's not as easy as you think. Once you cut, you're like, what? This is 3.5 9. That's 3 by 3. What? And it's hard to remember which one it went for. So,
what kind of bags do you recommend? Someone's asking.
Any kind of Ziploc baggie. Anything that you can zip shut so those pieces don't fall out. You could use a Ziploc baggie. You could get any kind of plastic container.
Yeah. Anything you could label really clearly.
Yeah, anything that would label quickly. The next thing I do is when I've looked at the black here, I love these new cutting charts. I go to the cutting chart right here, and then I look at this and I say, okay, that's my first one. I'm gonna cut my 3.5 by 3, both of these, and I'm gonna cut my 4.5 by 4.5. So I'm gonna magically already cut this, right? So this is my fat 16th that I started with, and I've already cut off the extra, and I love doing it just like it says here. And then I've got my rotating mat, and I rotate my mat without everything on here. And then I do my cross cuts. And so I would cross cut these, and then I end up with my 3 pieces. And the very next thing I do is I flip right back to the beginning, and right here where it shows the black, it says, okay, in row 1A, which I already have laid out, row 1A, I take one of the 3.5 inch by 3, it goes in the flour, one goes in the sugar, and one is the peppermint background, and it's peppermint 1 background. So I'm gonna take the peppermint 1 background, it goes in the peppermint 1, one of these goes in the flour, and one of these goes in the sugar. Oh, whoops, the sugar and spice. And I simply do that. I just cut and I put it in, and I cut and I put it in. And I promise if you will take the time to do this at the beginning of your quilting process, it just makes everything so much smoother. Let's say I've got about 20 minutes and I'm gonna go to my friend's house and we're gonna sew for just a little bit. Let's say I'm gonna grab my first 2. I already have them ready to go. I grab my instructions and out the door I go with my sewing machine. I don't have to worry about, oh, I need to grab everything and take with me. You only have to take with you what you need. And so I love this for that particular, I know there's a lot of people that like to do the sewing retreats, and so they do that very thing. The next thing I wanted to show you is I'm going to skip down here to this 3rd one, and part of the reason I wanted to skip to that, what do you notice about this fabric? If you turn it sideways, right, it's directional. So it's important when you're cutting your directional fabric to make sure that you get it the way you want it to be. So I'm going to go to my cutting instructions right here. And right here, we've even put that it's directional print. Just to alert you when you're going to cut this, make sure you've got this laying the exact way that it shows to lay this. And then when you cut this piece out, it's the correct direction for you. And there's a few pieces in here that are directional. Even our pinstripes, there's a certain direction we wanted those to land. And so make sure that you pay attention to directional cuts when you are making your cuts. And that's about all there is to that. And then, like I say, if you'll separate out your embellishment kit into these as well, then you're set, you're ready to go, and you can just organize it. No matter where you started stitching and left off, you can pick right back up and you know right where you are. I tried doing this with other quilts years ago, and it really helped me, and that's why I like to do that, even when we're here working. Are there any questions?
Not today, Laurie. So many people say thank you. Deborah says, I did this and taught my class for Jingle All the Way, and it was so helpful.
Very good. Well, way to go, Deborah. Yeah. So if you have any other questions, please comment, and we are happy to return your answers. And we look forward to visiting with you next week when we check into our embellishment kit and finding out what's inside and dive a little deeper into the different ins and outs of that as well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.